Hello friends, Coach Bob here, and today we are going to be doing a little ride down to a beautiful place in St. Marks, Florida. It's south of Tallahassee, down to the Gulf Coast. It is a little different than what you might envision normally. This here is the beautiful St. Marks River, and we're going to be entering a state park here. This is the St. Marks Lighthouse. It's beautiful down here, a lot of marshlands, very reminiscent of, say, the Everglades, that sort of thing when you're driving in. But when you pop out, there's boat ramps and places to fish and that sort of thing. It is a beautiful place, and a lot of beautiful lighthouse metaphors are certainly in store for today, being we are heading down this way, and certainly with what we're going through at this time in our great country. In fact, in this great planet of ours, we are all going through this together. I also want to take this opportunity to invite everyone to stick around, because towards the end of this video, I will be making a little announcement about a way to get your CanAm Spyder, or your motorcycle for that matter, doesn't have to be a Spyder, on this channel through a very simple method of email. So we're going to be doing a little thing called Ryders Rydes, and that will be part of our Friday video each week. Also, if you're trying to get in shape, especially being a lot of opening the refrigerator and eating quarantine food is a real problem right now, feel free to join us on Monday mornings for Fitness Quest. We'll be doing that each week until I get to my goal weight. If you want to know more about that, you can check out the videos Fitness Quest on the Coach Bob 3 channel. Also, take this opportunity to like, share, and subscribe, especially subscribe. We sure do need it. 80% of our views are from non-subscribers, and so we are trying to build that subscription base up. So, without further ado, we are now entering the St. Marks Refuge. As you enter the park, it's the typical panhandle landscape, pine trees and flat roads. But within 3 or 4 miles of entering the park, things just open up into these salt marshes that are just beautiful. There are still pine trees, but you start seeing palm trees and a lot of palmettos interspersed in all of that, and it really is quite beautiful down here. We love coming down here. The smell, Coach Vic talks about how it reminds her of growing up in the Everglades, and how that smell just seems to follow her as she goes through all of these open places, and it just brings back all of those fond memories of her childhood. As for me, a South Georgia boy, we had palmettos and we had woods, but we didn't have a whole lot of salt marsh. Our marshes were just dark water with gators and skeeters. You know, the older I get, the more I appreciate the idea of the lighthouse. You know, in the way the world is right now, the lighthouse represents a lot to me. It is that light in the darkness. And for any of you who have ever been sailing and you're navigating out there at night, seeing that light, even though it's out of your reach, even though it's way out of your reach at times and the storm is raging, you realize there's hope out there. And you know you can see it. And there's just something about the visual part of seeing that lighthouse. And we all have to keep that in mind. It's easy to get lost in the dark and forget that there's hope, but there is. You know, I've read a ton of books that have a picture of a lighthouse on the cover of them. All of them representing hope, all of them representing principles and life, you know, and it really is an amazing thing. I am often reminded, though, every time I come out here, of a story that I read in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, years ago as a young man. And when I was learning my trade and becoming a manager in my career and all that stuff. And it was basically a story that Stephen Covey shared out of this book. And he says there were 2 battleships basically on a training squadron, and they were doing maneuvers in heavy weather. And the serving lead of the battleship was on the bridge that night, and the visibility was poor and patchy fog. and the captain was on the bridge keeping an eye on everything. Now, shortly after this, the wing of the bridge reported a light bearing on the starboard bow. And the captain asks, is it steady or is it moving astern? And looking ahead, steady, captain, which meant they were on a dangerous collision course with that other ship. The captain then told the signalman, signal the ship that we are on a collision course, and advised that they change 20 degrees. They change their course 20 degrees. And back came a signal from the other ship, said, advisable for you to change your course 20 degrees. And the captain said, tell him I'm a captain, change his course for 20 degrees. The other guy came back, I'm a seaman second class. You had better change your course 20 degrees. Now the captain's really, really mad, and he yelled out, send I am a battleship, change your course 20 degrees. And back came the signal from the second class seaman, I'm a lighthouse. And the principle behind the story is that there are unchangeable things in life. And those unchangeable things are the lighthouse and the rocks surrounding the lighthouse. And you can try to fight these principles, which all you'll do is dash yourself against the rocks and sink. Or you can adjust your life around these unchanging principles and use that lighthouse as a guide. And that is what we have to do in times like we're in right now. And as you've grown accustomed to my little stories, everything with me has a much deeper meaning. I drive Coach Vic crazy with all this stuff. But suffice it to say, the lighthouse is beautiful. So I'm going to hush my mouth, and we're just going to enjoy the beauty of St. Marks Lighthouse. Here you go. He ate the worm. As we all know that cameras don't do hills justice. Let's see what Coach Vic has. See what she got in her. Show me what you got. Come on. Oh, it gets longer.
That was too simple. Basic pair stuff.
Go down the stairs, show what you got.
No.
Alright, here we go.
Get your leg.
Alright, so gotta get my leg like this right here. Hey, Coach Vic, show what you got.
Go.
Oh! You're more impressive on two wheels.
Not as quick as I used to be, but I still have it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the lighthouse tour. It is beautiful out here, man, and the weather is absolutely perfect. You know, every time I'm on this road and I'm headed back into town, I think about what happened in 2009. I was out here with a friend of mine, and I was training for my first Ironman, and my buddy and me, Ken, we were out working really hard. We were finishing up a 6-hour bike ride. We probably had another hour, hour and a half left. And there was a rock like the one that I found in the parking lot there. And maybe if I'd have listened to the lighthouse guy, this wouldn't have happened. We're riding down the road. It was a rainy, kind of dreary, cold day. And Ken sees this rock in the middle of the road. Well, I don't know if I was tired or just inattentive. Either way, I didn't see the rock. And man, I hit it straight on. Front tire went over it. Back tire went over it. Well, when my back tire went over it, I went down. And I mean, when I say I went down hard. And as I was starting to fall, I remember both of my arms, throwing them both up in the air, reaching out to grab anything that I could that would stop me from falling. Well, of course, the thing that I could grab was the back tire of Ken's bicycle, as he was right beside me, as cyclists often ride in close proximity. And as I was reaching out for his tire, I yelled, "Save yourself!" No sooner than that, I had grabbed the tire and the deed was done, and it was too late. I was sliding down the road, leaving a little flesh trail, and Ken had run off into the ditch and into a canal, hitting a rock. Both of us were pretty scraped up, and it was funny. We laid there laughing about all this, and we finished our 6-hour ride, and then we got off the bikes. We talked a little bit and ran for an hour and a half. And to this day, we're still the best of friends. It's amazing that even when we lose our way and we hit a rock and we take somebody else down with us due to our inattentiveness, that real friends remain real friends. Now, let's talk about the channel and what we have going on. So as I mentioned earlier, we have every Monday morning, I do a real-time, not a lot of editing, get up around 5 o'clock so that the video can be up at 8 a.m. about what we're doing to try to lose a little weight during all of this lockdown stuff. But the other thing that we have decided to do, as a suggestion from Cadillac Mike, and again, an excellent suggestion I might add, is that if you would send pictures and or small videos of your motorcycle, whether it be 3 wheels or 2 wheels, CanAm Spyder, Harley Davidson, Honda, Ducati, Triumph, I don't care what it is. It can be a big wheel tricycle for all I care, and I will put a picture of it up. What I want you to do is take those pictures, send them to bob3coach@gmail.com. Again, that's bob3coach@gmail.com. You'll see that written on your screen right now. And take that picture and send it to me. What you want said about you, what you want said about your machine, whether it be what accessories you put on there, or just your name, where you're from, whatever you want, whatever you don't want. If you don't want me to tell your name, I'm okay not doing that as well. Anything you want me to put on there, you know, as long as it's clean, I'll be more than happy to do. And that will be the end section of the Friday videos, which is going to be more review of gear for the next few weeks until we can get through all this where we can make more trips. So send pictures of your machine and I will be more than happy to premiere it on this channel. So until then, you know what I'm gonna say. Go out, get the motorcycle of your dreams. Eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Now, go seize the day. St Marks Lighthouse, pretty awesome, huh?
Yes, it